Welcome back to another week of my Sew and Tell, or welcome if you're brand new here. My channel is just about things that I'm sewing and making and a little bit of life thrown in if you've not watched me before. Now, I've been planning on recreating an outfit. Now, my regular viewers know I've been going on and on about this, but the day has finally came and I'm starting to make some progress of my outfit. Now, in my previous videos, you'll have already seen that I'd made some shorts before I planned this outfit, and those are the ones I'm going to use. And they're the... I keep wanting to call them the Jessa shorts by Tilly and the Buttons, and they're just going to be perfect. I haven't added a button, that's all I need to do. I made them ages ago and then I just didn't have a button for it, and then I just put them aside and just didn't bother with them, but I'm definitely going to finish them off now. Now, this is the outfit. Right, I ripped this out of the Vogue magazine, and it's not the whole outfit that I want. It's just basically the red, I'm going to try and get it a bit closer, the red and white jersey stripy vest, and then, you know, some blue shorts. These have got silk coming out the bottom of them. I'm not all that bothered about that. I'm not bothered about the belts. I don't think my Jessa have belt loops anyway, from what I remember. And definitely not interested in the hat, not unless maybe I was going for a fancy dress. And I did consider the neckerchief. I don't know if I would. Maybe I'd put it on maybe for a photo to post on social media when I've done the outfit, maybe. But whether I'd go out wearing it, I don't know. So that is my plan. And if you've seen my videos before, it's a very expensive outfit. The vest is £513. The shorts with the silk detail are £652. The top and the shorts are Chloe, basically, and the cashmere scarf is £135 from Beg with 2 G's, and the gold bracelets, you see those, they're the most expensive, £4,425, right? And is there anything else on here? Oh, the lipstick, YSL Beauty Rouge Per Couture, the slim lipstick in mystery red, £31. Right, so rather expensive. Now, I do own red lipstick, even though it's not my go-to colour, because I'm a figure skater, and in the Christmas shows we always have to wear red lipstick. I do feel like a drag queen, I must admit, when I've got this red lipstick on, but you know, we have to wear it, so maybe I'll brave the red lipstick. So I don't know how I look today. I don't look too bad. I did put some fake tan on Friday morning. Was it Friday? Yes, it's Saturday today, by the way. It's Saturday and it's 7:15 in the evening, right? So I'm probably looking a bit dishevelled and things. I have been to yoga and things today, but basically the last time I spoke to you, I said I was going to a hotel for one evening for my 16th wedding anniversary, and kind of celebration with our 20 years of being together, which was a couple of weeks ago. We didn't do anything for that, so yeah, that's what we did, and it was really lovely. We got there, well, actually Friday, I took my children to see a Bugman. He was called the Bugman. So this was before I went to the hotel. So I felt a bit better actually, because I was going to be going, did a kids activity and then went off. So yeah, we basically beheld a corn snake, crested geckos. I was the only person in the room that didn't get to hold the crested geckos. They kind of missed me out because I was taking photos and I lost my chance, unfortunately. We held millipedes. Yeah, they were not centipedes. They're the poisonous ones, aren't they? We held it was either centipedes or millipedes. I think the millipedes were the ones we held, and they're not the poisonous ones. Not unless you eat them, apparently. That's what the guy said. And we held Like, I must admit, I was a bit frightened of the millipede, even though it's harmless. It creeped me out a bit. They look a bit, creepy. But I chickened out with the smaller one. I put it on my sleeve, and but the bigger one, it was the guy that was running it took the big one round, and he kind of put my youngest son and mind at rest, and kind of put the back end of it on, and then we was okay, and they're actually really nice. So if you ever get the chance, don't chicken out, they're fine. And then it was the tarantula, and I have held a tarantula before, and I was a little bit frightened, but they're quite good. If you ever get to hold a tarantula, they'll put them on your hand and they'll cover it, and they'll get used to it. Okay, and I said, do you want me to move the hand? And they'll do that. And that's what happened. But the first time I held a tarantula on it, that's another thing. And because I got called out to do it, I was thinking, oh gosh, right. But this time I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to hold it. You might call me crazy if you've got arachnophobia. And my eldest couldn't wait to hold it. The younger two, they said they wasn't going to, but they ended up holding it. And actually my middle son, he said that he's had a few opportunities to hold one, and things at primary school and things, and he's never wanted to do it, and they all held the spider. So I'm really proud. So I might have popped some photographs on the screen. Maybe I should have warned people if I was going to do that. I don't know. That's right. So the top that I'm using to make the pattern is the Melisso's bias trim tank top. Now on the website, I've had a look for it, and they don't call it the bias trim tank top, but it does say it on the pattern. So if you're interested in it, go to the melissos.com, and it says sew a tank top, and it's a free pattern. However, I'm just letting you know, if you want Melisso's free patterns, you have to sign up to her email, and then you get a code on Fridays to be able to access them, right? This is the most information I've ever given you about this top, and I have made it before, but I'll show you photographs of that in a bit, just in case there's still the Bugman photos coming up. So this top is basically a jersey top, but you use woven bias strip. I keep calling it strips, bias tape. I'm getting the right word, but yeah, basically, but bias binding. Why do I keep calling it that? Right, bias binding. Maybe it's what other countries say, I don't know. So I use that round the neckline and round the armhole. However, I've made this top before. I made it in jersey. It didn't have an amazing amount of stretch on it, and I used elastic. I didn't use woven. I'm forgetting again. Sorry. I've had a late night because I went to the hotel. Like I say, after the Bugman, I went to the hotel. My husband that's got a gym. We did an hour's worth of gym. Went and got ready, and then went and had a nice meal and shared a bottle of wine. But we didn't actually. My husband had ended up getting a glass of Stella. And he left me the wine, but I didn't drink any more of it. We had a large glass each, and I just had one glass, and that wasn't full, and there was loads of this, so I left the wine there actually. So I don't really didn't really want to go. I didn't want to ruin it, I wanted to get up, have a nice breakfast, and we didn't get time to go in the pool, and the plan was we were going to go for a swim in the morning, but then we didn't end up doing it. But it was a little bit of a disaster. I didn't get any photographs while we were there. I forgot my gym leggings. I accidentally took my ice skating leggings, and my ice skating leggings are the kind of got a bit like bell bottom things. They're long to go over the bottom of your ice skates to cover your laces and things, so your hooks don't stick together. And So that, yeah, and I had to wear these leggings I've got on now, but I use these for like kind of chilling out. I took them with me just to, you know, chill out around the room, and I had all marks on them, so I had to kind of sponge them down, so that was a bit of a disaster. And I forgot to take my face wash, but I used the hand wash in the hotel, but luckily I took my face cream, so my face didn't dry out so much. But yeah, so that's what happened. Anyway, back to this. I'm going off on one again. So this top, right, it's a one size only, and it's size for a 34-inch bust. It only has inches, not centimetres, which I'm fine with. I prefer inches when it comes to measurements and things for bodies and things. That's what I'm used to, but it would probably fit down to a 32-inch bust. And it does say to use jersey that has at least 50% stretch, so that's quite a lot in it. Now I don't think my top had 50% stretch, the one I made last time, and I'll pop a photograph of that in now. The one I made, I put elastic around the neck and around the things, but this, just to let you know, printed out bigger than it was supposed to on my printer, and I did it on the laptop as well, and normally you get accurate results, but the test square was too big. But I didn't worry too much about it, and I knew my fabric didn't have 50% stretch, my last one, so I didn't mind that it was a bit bigger. But I told you in previous videos, I took 4.5 inches off the shorten and lengthen line, and that was purely because the fabric that I had that was cutting off the bottom of my mum's dress, I didn't have enough to make it the length it was supposed to be, so I reduced it. Anyway, I'm really happy with the length of that top, so I've decided I'm going to make my recreation one that length. It will be fine, basically, and if I tuck it in, you're not even going to see the length of it anyway. So that is that. So basically it's a slightly different, the pattern is slightly bigger than it should be. And remember me saying I think you can buy this pattern if that one size isn't your size. I'm really sorry, but that is not true. You can't buy it, but there is a link to say if you need to make the pattern bigger or smaller, check out this post, and it wants you to click on it. Or you could do this technique on the Texana tank pattern, and it's available in 3X sizes up to 3X. It says this is an American lady, so I'm guessing it's 3X is an American size, so I don't know what that translates to UK size if you're a UK person watching me. But basically, so you could go to, I'm going to get this right, Blank Slate Patterns, because that is who Melly Sews is, and there's so you look up the Tex and a tank top pattern, and that's basically a tank top, so you could use that one, but you pay for that one, so you've got some choices, or if you've got a tank top already. But I'm not going to, this pattern was all about doing a woven trim. I'm not going to be doing a woven trim anyway, so it's no use to me. But I got the pattern pieces out that I used before, and I've cut out my pieces. Right, let me find out what I've got here. So this is my back piece. I'll try not flash at you. I remember when I've wore this jumper in a video before, and I was showing you things, and I kept flashing at you, so I'll try not to. That's the top. No, the top. Of course, it's all the top. Sorry, it's not really good doing a video, is it, this time of day? The reason I'm doing it is my husband's watching Chelsea Liverpool. Actually, Chelsea is one of my teams, and Liverpool is my husband's team. But when Chelsea aren't playing, I'll support Liverpool with my husband. I do it like that. And also, you know, my mum's team's Aston Villa, so I was brought up in an Aston Villa Chelsea household, and then married a Liverpool supporter. So yes, so we've got all teams going on here. But you know, I like watching European football mainly, and and World Cups is my main thing. But I do sometimes get into. I can't watch it every year. Some years I'm really into it. I'm always checking what the results are, but I don't necessarily watch the games. I do that sometimes with the tennis. I like to know what's happening. If and the snooker, if Ronnie O'Sullivan is in it to the death, I'll watch it. And if Federer is in it to the death with the tennis, I'll probably watch to the end. So it just depends on who's doing okay. If your favourites are like doing okay. Anyway, that's the front. Now, I don't know if I've cut that in a bit of a point there, the way I've done that, but it's going to have a bias trim around it anyway. So, what have I done? Now I've had an idea. Let me just check I've got all my pieces. This is what I'm left with now. Oh, have I? Let me just pick those up. I'm sorry if I'm getting a bit mixed up today. I might have to do this video again. Watch it back and it's that rubbish. I might have to start again. So, this is what I'm left with now. I don't remember how much of it I bought. And you know what? Where did I buy it from? Can you remember? Who watched my videos? I can't remember, and I don't remember which video I shared this in now. But I bought it online. So if I remember, I'll let you know in this video. So, I've cut out a few strips, right? Now, I've cut these strips to basically go round the neck and the armholes. And I've cut 3 strips here, and I've cut them in this did I want to do it in that direction? Hang on, I haven't done it wrong, have I? So if you look at her, she's got sideways stripes there, and then the stripes go vertical round the neck band. That's how mine's going to look. So if I fold this in half, and when I sew it in, it's going to go that way, but the stripes at the top are going to be that way, right? So I hope you understand that. So I've cut 3 of these. I don't know how much I'm going to need, but I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to ease it in. I'll get a rough idea to make sure these are long enough, but I'm just going to ease it in. And then, so basically I'll sew one shoulder seam together. Then I'll basically work the strip all around the neckline to the amount I need, giving it a slight pull, and then I'll sew the other shoulder together. It saves all the maths and working it out, and it'll be fine. And I'll do the same with the arms before I sew the side seams together as well. However, I'm doing something a little bit different now. I don't know if you noticed on the top that I made, even though it was a bit bigger, it was quite fitted, right? Now this fabric does feel stretchier. I must admit I haven't tested the stretch. It's a bit naughty of me, but I was worried. I thought, if it really has to, go over my bust, because when I've got a bra on, I probably measure about 35 inches with some of my bras. It gives me a bit more, and it might, I don't want it kind of really stretching with the stripes and look a bit distorted. So I'm doing something just in case, and it will add a bit of interest. Now, if you have a look at this vest, it's not just a front and back piece. And I'll try and get it nice and close to you. It's not just a front and back piece. There's actually a seam going down here. I have mentioned this before, and they've got sideways stripes again, but they're thicker, so it adds a bit of interest. Now, I'm not going to have a seam going right down the nipple area like that is, but what I'm thinking, and I haven't got a different stripy fabric that's different thicknesses, so I've got an idea. I've cut 2 strips the opposite way to the neck strips, so I've cut them this way. So if I get my other ones so you can see the difference, those are that way and those are that way. And what I'm thinking of doing is to add a bit of interest. I'm going to have a strip going right in the centre down my side like that. So on both sides. So it's going to do two things. It's going to add interest to the top because the stripes are going to be going this way, and then I'm going to have this stripe going down the side like that. I actually thought you could have a stripe. You could add this down leggings, couldn't you? Look. Down the side of leggings if you wanted to. Just stitch it on top kind of thing. So, or add it into the seam. So, yeah, as long as you've got leggings with a seam. These leggings don't have a seam down the side. And I didn't make these leggings, but I have made leggings. And I've made leggings that have got a seam either on both sides of the leg, and I've made ones, the jaily ones, that just have the seam on the inside of the leg. So that is my plan. So I hope you can visualise that. I'm going to have a vesty top that's going to have sideways stripes here, vertical stripe down the side, and then they're going to be vertical going around the neck and then round here kind of thing. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. Obviously, I don't really know how the fit is going to be because it's not controlled. I'm adding a bit of extra down the side, and I think this fabric is stretchier than the last one I've used, and I'm not using elastic this time. I'm actually using the fabric itself to do the binding, so I'm quite excited about it actually. So I wanted to come and chat with you first before I did it, just so you knew what my plan was, and then you can see the final thing and how it comes out at the end. So I don't know if I'm going to, because I've been messing up a little bit with me talking to you, I don't think I'm going to do any sewing of this evening. The time is nearly 7 o'clock. My husband made me a cuppa, and it's kind of going cold. I might have to microwave it, and I might just go upstairs, take the iPad, take my phone, and remember in my last video I said I got a new Vogue. I might sit through looking at the Vogue, and if the football's still on, I might even see if I can watch some fashion shows online or something, because I love doing that kind of thing. So thank you for joining me so far. So I've started you off with a bit of dressmaking. I don't know what else you're going to be seeing in this video as of yet, because as you know, if you've watched my videos before, I'm quite spontaneous. Now, there's one thing I wanted to chat to you about, but I can't see. Oh yes, I have sewn something else. Do you know the dress my mum gave to me, the one that I made the vest from, that I cut the bottom of? I found it was down here, and I've overlocked the bottom hem of that now, and all I've got to do is do a hem, but I'm going to do it on my cover stitch machine. So as I've told you before, my cover stitch machine isn't just ready to use whenever I want. I basically have to get it out somewhere and plug it in and everything. So I'm going to be doing that hem on the cover stitch machine. And you know, I was showing you 3 fabric panels that I've sewn and washed and ironed and things. Had I ironed it when I saw you? Well, I have ironed it now. Wow, I'm really disappointed with it. Right, okay, let me get it. I'll cut this bit out while I find it. Right, I've got it. Now, I'm so disappointed, right. Now, if you remember, I bought 2 of these together, and then I bought another one in the sale, and they're different sizes. Let me have a look at the top. So I made sure when I started sewing I matched them, look. And I matched it here, right? There was no white edge on this one. The selvage is on the white edge on this piece. They've put the selvage on the teal on this one, right? And then if you look at the bottom, look at the bottom where it ended. Even though I kept it in line, I don't know about this one. Let me have a look. Not much of a difference. So I'm a bit disappointed with that, right? So I was just going to see what happens. Maybe I'd have had to lop more off than I wanted to, you know. So, and it's not as good. Do you know, it's like when you buy, like I buy my quilting cottons mainly from the cotton patch, and you know, there's a certain kind of quality. I just don't know about this. It reminds me a bit like a bed sheet kind of thing, and I don't know if I try to quilt it right, if I'm going to get a lot of stretching. Do you know when you get that impression you're going to get stretching? Like, I don't know, Matt, you know, I'll just have to see. But a problem I've got is the size of it. The wadding that I've got is too small, and if to get one that fits, I'm going to have to buy a massive piece of wadding, right, to fit this, and then have loads of waste. I know I can use my bits of wadding, you know. I've got my wadding box here, and I save it, and I'm doing bits from my Mandy shawl blocks and things. So yeah, I don't know what to do. So I didn't know whether to scrap the wadding and backing and binding idea, which I'm a bit gutted about because that's how I dreamed it. I don't know whether to purchase, which I didn't really want to, go down the buying route. As I've been saying to you, I'm trying to, you know, I'm only buying things really, I'm trying to, if I'm desperate for, I've got a project but I just need something to finish it, do you know what I'm saying? So that would warrant this, wouldn't it? I don't know whether to get some like minky fabric, do you know, that really soft stuff, or fleece or something, and bag this out and turn it inside out, and then just still do a little bit of quilting, so it'd be more like a blanket, so it would have some nice like blankety thing, and then this on the outside, and it would actually be quite warm, wouldn't it? So I don't know yet what is happening with it. It's kind of put a spanner in the works because I've got to buy something now. My wadding, it's just, even if I cut a bit off the one I've got and then added the end, it's just not going to be big enough. I need to go another size up, and it's just going to be, you know, a massive piece. So what I'll do is I've priced up what the wadding would be, and yeah, I'll have a look at everything. And what I've got to bear in mind is the waddings I was looking at, it tells you the quilting guidelines. Now these squares, I thought, I'll just really do some simple quilting on this, I'll go around the squares. But the size of this, let me try and measure this. The squares are just a little over 10 inches, and a lot of waddings, you need to, some of them you've got to quilt every like 3.5 inches. A lot of ones I've had, you've got to leave no more than 8 inches. So it would mean I'd have to do a lot of delicate things. Like that one would be fine because you've got like a line in between, and I could even stitch around the sun. But some of them are going to be a bit awkward, which, well, they're not awkward. I would love doing free motion quilting on this. I love that kind of thing, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to do that kind of effort this side of my Cornwall holiday. Do you know what I'm saying? I either do a proper job and forget taking it away this holiday, or I do an alternative and I get to take it away. So that is a little bit up in the air at the moment. I was going to actually work on that before my top, but because of that, it threw a bit of a spanner in the works. So that is where I'm at the moment. Now, I'm still lunar obsessed. You might be able to see I've got a few little people here, well, animals. Ottoline is here. I don't know if you can see a little head here. She's hiding behind there. I've got Polly here. Mandy Shaw doll Polly is. I haven't forgotten about Polly. So she's sitting here at the moment. And Stickman. People notice Stickman actually in my photograph of my... But actually... I've shared a photograph now of I'm going to call her Apollina. Now, I was thinking of Apple Luna. Thank you for the suggestion, because it keeps her Luna name. But I think I really like Apollina. And I don't know whether to do, I have spelled it, so I don't know whether to do Apollina, Lina at the end, or Lena, like Leena or something. I haven't, well, not that it matters. It's not like I'm naming a child and I'm going to have to do a birth certificate, is it? But, yeah, you like to figure these things out, don't you? So I've shared a photograph of her. Actually, I'll pop that photograph on for you to see. Now, if you follow me on social media, you will have seen this photograph already. Or if you're in a Facebook group, you might have seen this photograph already. But here she is on video, all finished. Because when I showed you her the last time, she didn't have the necktie, did she? I'd just made the dress. But remember me saying it goes on with a pin. Now, this really confused me. I thought, we're looking at the diagram in the first Luna book. You look at the measurements and it looks self-explanatory. But when I did what I thought it said, I had this tiny, tiny bow. So I kind of went a little bit freestyle with it. And I think the bow looks the right size now. It has got a little bit of a twist there. But, and the perfectionist in me was getting a bit bothered. But then I thought to myself, it's all floral, it's all the same fabric. So, it's not really noticeable. The bow a little bit twisted. I think what was really bothered me, I was hell bent. I wanted these the same length. And I'm happy I got those the same length. So yeah, so I'm really pleased. I'm really happy that I made that dress. I think I'd quite like to work through that Luna book, the first one, and make all the clothing. Now, I had cut out, if you remember, some pink clothing from that tweed, that rather cost-effective tweed I've made myself 2 pink coats out of, haven't I? Have I made anything else for myself? I don't know. But I did cut out some Luna garments, a waistcoat and a few other things. Do you think I can find them? Now, what it is, I was keeping them in a box here at the end of my desk, but I kept knocking it off all the time. It's actually a box like this. This was a box we had at Christmas. And it's got one inside. They're like Russian doll style. You put them inside. And there's another one. And they're in that, right? And I can't find it. Because it kept dropping off. And I was fed up of it dropping off and all my little things falling out. And I've moved it. And actually, I probably would have sewed this top today. But I spent a hell of a lot of time looking for that today. And what else was I looking for? And looking for something I made for my anniversary. Do you remember I did that the front of a hand-stitched heart, and I embroidered 20 years together, 16th year wedding anniversary. All I needed to do is sew a backing on and stuff it and things and give it to my husband. Can't find it. I don't think I finished it from what I remember, but yeah, I couldn't find it. So I just don't know. I'm not that unorganised, but I will admit, right, because I do these videos, I do sometimes dump things and then I can't find them, but usually I dump them here and I find them. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I did find my meter stick. Normally when I'm looking for other things, I find things that were missing. Anyway, back to Stickman. Do you remember I made him? I made him from this. This is years and years old. The company was called the Craft Network Knitazine. I bought it from Hobbycraft. It was $9.99. I don't think you can get these anymore. But there are Stickman crochet patterns online. Not this one. This was quite unusual actually. How you work it. You go up and down. Like most of the patterns I've seen, you're working the round like amigurumi, because that's what that means when you crochet in the round. This isn't in the round. You basically, he's one big long piece. I think the arms might have been separate, but the legs, they're all literally one piece. You just had to keep casting on and off kind of thing, you know, and starting at a different point. It was it was quite an unusual way of making it, but I think that technique was well worth it because you get the lines going up and down, so it looks a bit more tree-like, doesn't it? But I just love it. But the reason I've brought him in this video, you've seen him before if you've watched me a long time, but he was in shot. And some people mentioned it on social media, so I thought I'd give him, you know, a bit of limelight as well. So I'll just pop in there. So thank you so much for joining me so far. And what I'll do is I'll come back to you when I've done a little bit more sewing, and maybe my top, or maybe that dress that my mum gave me that I've cut the bottom of it off, that I did the tank top with. So yes, that's what's going on at the moment. So thank you so much for joining me so far, and I'll see you in the next bit. Bye. Welcome back. Right, I just thought I'd pop on to show you what I was sewing yesterday. Now, I've left my hair clipped up just to keep it out of the way so I can give you a good look, but you might be able to spot it. My recreation top. So what do you think? Now, I will admit, I did make a mistake, right? Oh gosh, right. Now, hang on, I'll just put, actually, I don't know if you notice, this lady's, her strap is a lot thinner than mine and it's a bit lower cut. And I was considering, I was going to cut the neck off and redo it. But my husband has just seen this on and he really likes it. So I might leave it as it is, even though it's not as, you know, like this on this lady. And I've got my shorts here, but I've still not finished them. I don't know whether I've marked where to sew a button. I was thinking of doing a buttonhole going that way. So it would be like this, look. Have that button. I don't know, but it's like a cream colour and this is like white and red. But I don't know whether... Oh, I've just lost it. I don't think... Oh, there it is. As I say, I don't think I'll be using that button. Right. I don't know whether... I haven't made a decision yet. I can't remember what these are called. I want to say hook and loop, but it's not a loop, is it? But you can use two of those. So I don't know if when I bought that, whether it was a pack of two. I'm going to have a look in my stash. I don't know whether to just have two of those. So there's no button at all, because you can do that with this pattern. You don't have to have a button there. So I don't know yet, but I nearly have my outfit right. So, shall I pop them on? No, I won't pop them on. I'll wait until I've done something. So I'll let you know the mistake I made on this top, but it's turned out okay anyway. I'm quite happy with the mistake. Now, if you remember, I cut out strips in different directions, didn't I? So I cut out strips that were going that way. I cut out strips that were going that way. Now, the intention was I was supposed to have a strip, because hers on the picture is like this. Do you know the stripe? See my stripes going round like that? Hers are like that. And that's what I was intending to do. And that's what these bits are like, look, as well. But what happened is, what did I do? So the first band you sew in is the neckband. So I sewed my neckband in, not realising I'd used a piece. See these? I'd planned, I added this striping, didn't I? I used one of those by accident, and actually these are a bit shorter than the ones I'd cut for the neck, and I had to pull for dear life, because I started off on this shoulder and I worked my way around, and so when this isn't on, it does gather a little bit here, but when you put it on, it just evens it out, luckily, so I've got away with it. And so I did that. Then the next stage, before I sewed in these bits, I put my side strips on. I think I wanted to sew both of them onto the front panel. I sewed one on and I could not find the other one. I was going crazy thinking, what have I done with it? So I ended up having to cut another one of these, and then later on I realised what I'd done. I'd used my other one of these and used it as the neckband piece. I'm such a donut. However, I think I really like that stripe going round. Like, if you look at hers, she's got a different fabric on hers anyway. She's got vertical stripes going round, but if you notice, it's a different stripy fabric she's got on there, and she's got a different one here. So they'd got 3 different kinds of fabric. That's why it's how much is it? Oh, £513. It is, sorry, I thought I'd cut a bit out there. I couldn't spot which bit. Actually, I looked back on my last video and I was getting all in a pickle reading this, so I had to cut a bit out. So I didn't tell you how much the hat was. I did, but I had to cut that bit out because it wasn't making any sense. The hat is $420 to order from Edwin Ibbotson Millinery. Right, if you're interested, if you're loaded and you watch my videos, you could buy it, couldn't you? Right, but I don't think many of us have got that kind of money to buy that outfit, really, have we? This, us everyday people, right? We have, so we have to try and either buy, high street brands or make it yourself, like what I've been trying to do. So yeah, that's what happened. So then I had to cut another piece then, and I sewed them onto my front piece. Then I sewed the binding around the arms, and then I sewed the sides in. So basically, I didn't measure how much I needed for the neck. I didn't measure how much I needed for around the arms. What it is, I sewed one shoulder, and then I just eased it in, and then sewed the other shoulder together. And I did the same with this. I just eased it in and then sewed the side seam together. So you don't have to worry about it. And if you look at a lot of shop bought clothes, I like that. I've noticed, because I look how things are being put together, and they've done the Speedy Gonzales way. They've not done the bit where they've divided it up into, I've done that plenty of times, divide it into 4 on the garment and the neckband and ease it in and whatever, so that's how a lot of shops sew their clothes, right? So, and then I finished it off on my cover stitch machine. So I'll show you what it's like at the bottom. You're probably not going to see, I've got 3 layers of stitching. So one of I've used white thread. One of them's ended up on the white area anyway. One's ended up on the red, and one's ended up on the white. So you can only see 1 line of stitching on it, but it's sealed off, a bit like when you have an overlocker on the back. So you've got that nice professional finish. So the cover stitch machine was out yesterday. That's why I didn't end up sewing this button, because where I had my cover stitch machine out is where I get my old Toyota machine out that I like to do my buttonholes with. And I've just put a machine away, and then it was too close to dinner to get another machine out, so I didn't bother doing it. But I'm kind of glad, because I've slept on it. I'm thinking, do I want a button and a buttonhole? Do I want the hook, the metal hook? So it probably depends if I've got one. If I've got one of those hooks, I don't know. What do you think? Like, it might be that you have an opinion, and by the time you see this video, I've probably made a decision. That button, it does look quite nice, doesn't it? I'll see what buttons I've got. I'll have a little think about it. But I am going to be sewing today, because my husband has got 3 shop bought t-shirts, and he wants me to take in the sleeves, so I've got those to do. And I've got that top that I showed you in a previous video that I bought from H&M, that like a dog tooth check, black and white, that I need to make a little bit smaller.
Sorry, darling.
Sorry about that. My husband is going to be doing some shredding in the garden. we've got like a shredder thing that you shred small branches, and he wants my extension lead. And this extension lead I bought because he had the last one off me, right? And I bought another one, and now he's lost his one. He wants this one off me, but he had it last time, and I think he's had it and he's lost that one now. So yes, if I need an extension lead, I don't think I've got one, but yeah, I might go and help him try and find it in a moment. So anyway, cover stitch machine, right? Because the cover stitch machine was out, and I'd found the dress that my mum gave me. Do you remember my mum gave me this maxi dress, and I just loved the colours of it, and I thought, oh, I don't really do maxi. And then I thought, oh gosh, I could cut the bottom of it off and make a top, which I did. I made one of these, didn't I, right, with it. But I've ended up with quite a short dress. Right? Now, I do like mini. I must admit, I did say it might end up being a beach cover-up. I've not tried it on since I've hemmed it, because obviously now I've hemmed it, it's going to be shorter, because I folded it over by 1/2 inch from what I remember. So that's how it's looking on the back, and that's the cover stitch. 3 lines of stitching along there. So that's how it looks along the front of it, because it ended up on the beige. But what it is, the stripes don't match up on this. They're kind of like that look. So on the back, it was kind of a little bit of yellow poking out, but blue. So it was kind of partly on the blue fabric and a little bit on the yellow. So I was trying to get that yellow as even as I could when I was folding it over. But yeah, I will try that on and show you what it's looking like. So yeah, I hope you've liked seeing that. So yeah, I was pretty convinced I was going to make this neck hole smaller, which would make my shoulder seam smaller and make it lower. But you know what? I see what my husband's saying. It does look really nice, doesn't it? I'm really pleased. I've got this little sailor thing. I think what it is, this is very like daytime kind of thing. I think I was looking for a nighttime outfit. I was thinking, some heels, I was even thinking of putting a fake red flower on my shoes. Maybe the neckerchief might be looking a bit out. The trouble is, you can either look really stylish, can't you? Or you can just look like OTT, can't you? There's a bit of a fine line sometimes, isn't there? You might look like you're in fancy dress or something. But yeah, but this, I think the fabric goes nice with this denim, doesn't it, that I've got here. So it's no stretching this denim. It would have been quite nice actually if there's a bit of stretch, but they're really comfortable. These shorts anyway, and if I'd have had stretch, would they? I don't know, will these get baggy? They might do. Mind you, denim, when you wash it, it kind of cinches back in again, doesn't it? So yeah, so I'll look forward to showing you my finished outfit, and and I'll show you if it's decent enough to come on film. If it's too short, maybe I won't. But and I've got some sewing to do for my husband, his t-shirts, my top. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to show you. Obviously, I'm not going to bother showing you my husband's t-shirts. You're not really going to be interested in some alterations. Maybe I'll show you my little shop bought top that I sewed. Maybe, I don't know. So that is what's going on at the moment. Now, I don't know what's happening with this at the moment, do I? Because obviously with things happening, but we'll just see. We'll just see what happens, see what I've got, or see what I can buy or something. But yeah, oh gosh, I have ordered something. Now, I was going to get something from the Cool Crafting website, right? Because I use PayPal, and I'd kept on receiving an email from PayPal saying I'd got funds in my account. But I know what email address I use for PayPal, and that wasn't the email address. So I thought I was getting a fraudulent email that was trying to hack into my PayPal, right? And but it turns out it wasn't fraudulent, right? I don't know how this has happened, but I've ended up with 2 PayPal accounts. I only use one PayPal account, but I've ended up with 2 PayPal accounts. How that has happened, I do not know. But what had happened is the Crafty Monkeys had sent me a refund, and the email address I was using to sign up to the Crafty Monkeys was the same as that PayPal I don't use, and basically my PayPal's another one. So when they sent me a refund, they used my email address I'd signed up to them with, and so basically they refunded it to that, and there was some other money that had been refunded. So I'd got a little bit of money on a PayPal account, so I was going to treat myself something from Cool Crafting, but I've ended up buying 3 things from H&M, and one thing is a Slytherin jumper, and it's from the Harry Potter. And the reason I've gone for Slytherin is because, do you remember my friend had knitted some Slytherin scarves, and she said, do I know anybody that would like to buy them? And I said I'd buy them off her, and I thought I like them, and I know I could knit them myself, but you know what, I've got these instant scarves, so I'm getting a Slytherin jumper for the autumn to go with one of my scarves, so that'll be a lot of fun, won't it? So yeah, at least with making toys, it's not overly expensive because you only need little pieces, don't you? And I'm trying to make things that I've got without spending ideally, but we'll just see how it goes. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me so far, and I will see you when I'm filming a little bit more again for this video. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next bit. Bye. I found them, it's called a hook and a bar, so I might be using these. So this is what a 4-step buttonhole looks like. You put it onto number 1 and it will go side to side, side to side. Put it onto number 2 and it will go side to side all the way up. Number 3, it will go like that, and then you go to number 4 and it will come back down, and then you finish off back at 1 and it will do that. So I'm about to start that now. So I've taken a few stitches. Now leave the needle in the left hand side. Now I'm going to change to number 2 and it will stitch up the one side. So I've done those stitches now. Now I'm going to switch it on to setting 3 and then it will do some end stitches. So I'll do those stitches now. That's it, and then leave that in the right hand side, and now we're going to stitch back down on setting number 4. So I've stitched all the way back towards me and I've left the needle on the right hand side, and now I'm going to just do a few stitches from side to side, which you'll see now. And there we go, that's all the sewing done. So I'll take it out of the machine. I've pulled those stitches through to the back. Now I'll put some, fray check on the buttonhole, leave that to dry, and then I'll make a hole through it, and I've got a buttonhole. Here's my finished buttonhole, and there's the button sewn on. I've managed to find this little gold nautical button, and gold is quite in at the moment if you have a look in the most recent Vogue. Right, welcome back to my video. Now, I've had a look at the footage early on in the week, and I think this is going to be the end of my video with the volume of footage I've got already. But I've managed to finish off my outfit. As you might have seen some little clips when I was deciding on what to do with the button, I've ended up doing a buttonhole. Granted, you might have noticed the buttonhole did look a little bit high up, but I thought it's not going to matter because I made the button, hold definitely enough size. How I worked out the size of the buttonhole is I measured the button, I added 1/8 of an inch for either side plus the height of the button. That's how I worked it out. So it worked out my buttonhole was 1 match, and that's what I did. And I managed to find these lovely little nautical buttons. I don't know where I got them from, but so I was really excited. So I've got my outfit on. I've got I haven't got red lipstick on. I couldn't find the red, so I've just put a load of dark colours on to try and get it as dark as I can. But I've had some photographs taken, and I've actually tried to recreate this photograph. So I will, after I've posted my video shortly. I'm sorry about the glare. I've tried to recreate this, and I was thinking which arm has she got. So I've put my right arm in front. I've tried to put my left arm where hers is, but I've turned my head the wrong way. She's looking over that way, and I've done it. I've done ones where I'm standing up as well, but I've tried to recreate this, but I'm looking the other way. But it will kind of, if I try and do a split screen for social media, it will look like mirror image, won't it? Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. So yeah, so I've just, do you know what, I've really enjoyed doing this, and it's encouraged me to do it again. If I really like something that's just well out of my price range, designer, and I can get some fabrics that I can kind of do a bit of a recreation, I'm definitely going to do it. Right, I'll stand up. I'll try and tuck this in a bit. Stripes can look a little bit weird on camera. So this is the, you've seen them all before, but not on together. So these are my I don't know how well I've done that actually. Do you know what it is? From what I remember, I think this denim was left over from when I made, I think it was Robert Kaufman from John Lewis, that was left over from when I made my son's poof. I don't know if you remember seeing that. It's all denim, and then I did like a patchwork star on the top. The one that somebody wanted the pattern, and I did my best. I trawled through magazines looking for this pattern, and I couldn't find it. And I was convinced it was that magazine. But anyway, back to this. And this, I think I might have bought 1.5 meters. It might. I think it was from Germany. It was basically, when you go on it, you think you're ordering from the UK. Was it fabric.UK? I don't know. Do you know, if you put in red, white and stripe jersey, then you'd probably find something, right? Fingers crossed, if you wanted red jersey. Now, I wasn't sure which was the front and the back of this fabric, because it must be very good quality jersey, because it wasn't rolling. Sometimes the way it rolls, you can tell. But one side, it's a lot rougher. Now, I don't know if it's the smooth side that's meant to be on the outside, I'm not sure. But because I've told you before, if you've watched my videos, I've got sensory issues, and I don't like tags in clothes or anything. So I get very irritated. My skin does. So I've put it so the rough side is on the outside, and made sure when I did the bindings I would have the soft side that was going to touch my skin. So that is what's happened. Now, I've had was this a good thing or a bad thing? I think I was looking for something and I didn't find it, but I have found some things, right, while I was looking for the thing I couldn't find. Now, do you remember me saying I was making my husband a thing for, because we've been together 20 years, and we just kind of passed that milestone, and we've just had our 16th wedding anniversary, and I made him a little embroidery, didn't I? But I didn't finish it. Well, I found it, and it was with, right, my Mandy Shaw the Secret Society blocks that I'd done. And do you remember me saying I couldn't, well, it wasn't with those blocks, it was with the fabric I needed to do the applique letters. So this is last month. I haven't done the red work for this month yet, but I've now got my letters on for the last month. So nobody has seen these yet. So you're the first to see them. You've probably seen other people's, but I've not backed them or anything yet. And I haven't actually stitched these down. I've just fused the letters on. So I've just got to do some stitching to stitch those on. And I've put the transfer for E and F. So that was E for embroidery, F for, what was it? Fat quarters. Obviously this was C for cotton. D for dressmaking, so that's exciting. I'm glad Mandy included a bit of dressmaking into it. So I'm going to stitch the E and the D, no, E and F, learn my alphabet, E and F, while I'm in Cornwall, but I've got to stitch the letters on the machine, but I've already cut out the fabric pieces for the next blocks. So yeah, I'm kind of catching up. I was a bit disheartened and I wasn't really doing these things because I couldn't find that red fabric, but now I've found it. That's great, and I'll be able to finish off that a bit late, but that thing to mark that important occasion for my husband and I. So that's what's going on at the moment. So going forward, things that I know I'm going to be sewing, working on my Mandy shawl, and I've done one of my husband's t-shirts now, an alteration. I've got to do some more alterations, and I'm going to be doing that alteration on that top that I bought from H&M, but unfortunately, realistically, this isn't coming to Cornwall. Wow, do you know what? I was in Solihull yesterday, my local town. I could have had a look in Dunelm to see if they'd just got some fleece or something, but I might be going there this afternoon, so maybe if I can get something, I can just do something to bag it out, and then maybe do a bit of quilting at a later date when I get back from Cornwall. Then it could come to Cornwall, but do you know what? I'll just have to make sure I measure this so I know how much fabric I need to bag. Well, I can't obviously use fabric because if I use fabric I'd want to wad it and quilt it. It would have to be some kind of blankety thing like minky or fleece or something like that, just so I can take it with me. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So that's what's going on at the moment. So those are some of the things. Well, you're not going to see the alterations apart from my top, because I'm not going to bore you with my husband's alterations on my next video. And yeah, just whatever I've decided to sew, you know, it's just that's what you're going to see, because I haven't quite, because of all these alterations and everything else I've got going on, I haven't really thought about what I'm going to sew beyond that. We'll just see. But we're getting into autumn, aren't we? So yeah, so my makes might start changing a little bit when I start thinking about autumn and Christmas. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Did I make, or did I finish the French hen? Do you remember, not the hen that you saw recently, the commemorative one for Betty that was recently taken by a fox? Do you know the Corinne Lapierre things I've been stitching? I've done the partridge in the pear tree, I've done the pear, I've done the partridge, I've done a turtle dove, and I know I've done a good bit of stitching of the French hen. Now I'm sure I've finished the French hen, but I can't find it. So that was put a bit of a spanner in the works, because I thought, oh, I want to sew the other things, and I just couldn't find it. That's how I found the other things. So it wasn't a total loss spending all that time looking for things, but I might have to continue making those Christmas decorations knowing the French hen is missing. I don't feel like making another French hen. What I might do is just make all the others, and then if I don't find the French hen before Christmas, if I get them all done before Christmas, I'll make another French hen or an alternative hen and hope the French hen turns up. So anyway, so thank you so much for joining me this week. Hope you've liked seeing my recreation outfit. It's been so much fun doing this and sharing this with you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time in my next video. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.